So we found him. He was in a burnt out school basically, and he had been captured by the Russians. But before that, he had been, he had been doing his bit. He was just a guy from a village that had like a really normal everyday job, just, and he was sort of like basically just making sure that the Ukrainians were not going to get popped off by the Russians one by one. The Russians captured him eventually, and he was taken to this school where they shot him in the legs, and then they left him in this freezing school with all of the windows burnt, bombed out, to basically just bleed to death. And he had an infection, and for days they tortured him and tortured him and tortured him, and he didn't say a word. Nothing. He was just like, no, I was just delivering bread to my grandfather. And he just stuck to that story. That's all he said. He had a wife at home. He had a son at home. And he was just like, no, I'm doing this. And he was such a relatable human being. He's just like, it'd just be like one of my neighbours or one of your neighbours.
Yeah.
And it sort of, he really resonated with all of us, because he really felt like, oh my God, if this were on our doorstep, would we do this? Would George next door do this? Would Kevin from the pub do this? He was just one of those guys, And we came back, and Anya and Solomir have been amazing. They've sort of helped find him surgical sort of assistance, so he can walk again, and he's got his back fixed, and they're doing amazing things for him. But his moment of defiance was, we went to go and film him exactly 9 months after he was liberated, just as his baby boy was born. His baby daughter was born. And he was just like, this is my defiance. It's like, they are trying to wipe Ukrainians off the face of the planet. Look at my daughter. And it was just like, it was just really great to see him thriving and his family thriving. And he made a baby out of it. It was brilliant.